Today I'm going to show you how to win at Baccarat using one of the safest recovery systems we've tested, Oscar's Grind. It's slower and more conservative than martingale or Fibonacci, but that's the point. We have already seen it in action many times in roulette and even blackjack. Today we're going to find out if it is also suitable for Baccarat.
Welcome to Ninja Gamblers, where we break down the smartest strategies for roulette, blackjack, craps and Baccarat. If you're into table games, join our free community. You'll get all the charts we use, exclusive content, discussions with fellow ninjas, and member-only bonuses. It's free, private, and takes 10 seconds to join. Link in the description and first comment.
Alright, if you've been following the channel, you'll have seen Richard's video on how Baccarat works, the basics, the mechanics, everything you need to know before playing. It's in the top right corner. Go watch that first if you haven't already. As we've shown in previous videos, in Baccarat the bet with the best odds is the banker, so I'll be making this bet for the whole session. The banker wins about 45.9% of the time, and when the hand ends in a tie, I don't lose any money because it's a push, just like in blackjack. That's why the house edge is only 1.06%, one of the lowest in the casino. Yes, the banker pays 0.95 to 1 because of the commission, but it's very small, and even with that the odds are still better than in roulette with a single zero or a double zero. So, we're sticking with banker for the whole play, as should you if you want to follow this strategy. And you know what else you should do before starting? Making sure that you're playing on a safe, licensed casino. I know, I repeat it every time, but it's super important. If you don't want to get scammed by shady casinos that can rig games, delay withdrawals, or disappear with your money, you should play on licensed and verified ones. We built a country-by-country list of verified and legal casinos with strong licenses, tested RNGs, fast withdrawals, and guaranteed payouts, so you can play with peace of mind. The link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. For today's run, I'll be playing in euros, but this system works the same way with any currency. So, as I said, we'll be using Oscar's Grind recovery system. If you haven't seen Richard's videos where he breaks down Oscar's Grind for roulette, take a look at that first. The link is in the top right corner. Here's a quick recap. With Oscar's Grind, you aim to win 1 unit per cycle. You keep a running count of the units that you win or lose. When the unit count reaches +1, the cycle ends and you start a new one. If you lose, the unit count goes negative. You repeat the same bet, and when you win, you add 1 unit to your original bet until you reach +1 and close the cycle. There are a few exceptions where the next bet would overshoot the target, and in those cases, I adjust the bet to keep the goal at +1. Sounds confusing? Let's see it in practice. I'll use a base unit of 10 euros, so let's place it. 10 euros on banker. The count is now, of course, at 0. And of course, player hits a miracle 9. That's my first loss. The count goes to -1. Let's repeat the same bet. 1. Back to 0. This is one of the exceptions where I don't increase the bet since it would overshoot the +1 target, so 10 euros again. I lose again, back to -1, and I keep betting 10 euros, my base unit. I won, so the count is back to 0. Just like before, I don't increase the bet because the target is +1 unit. Another win, and now the count is finally +1. That wraps it up as I managed to get myself a nearly 10 euros profit, 1 unit, and recovered everything else. This is the end goal of each cycle. Now let's start a new cycle, so count is 0, and I bet another 10 euros on banker. I lose, down to -1. After a loss, I keep the same bet. Another loss. Now I'm at -2. Same rule here, I don't change anything. 1. So I move up to -1. After a win, I add 1 unit to my bet, which now increases to €20. If this wins, I'm done with this run, as it will shoot the count to +1. And I won. Nice. We jump all the way to +1. Cycle closed, profit made. Loss, down to -1. The player is not making it easy today. Another loss. Now I'm at -2. I win. So I move back to -1. Same as before. I add 1 unit and bet 20. Won again. So we close the cycle once more. Another profit locked. New cycle. Back to €10 and count back to 0. I lose. Down to -1. Same story. I don't change the bet. I win. Back to 0. To make sure the bet, if winning, doesn't take us over +1, I keep it at €10. I lose again. Back to -1. Another loss. Now I'm at -2. This table is feeling generous today, huh? I lose again. Down to -3. Lovely. I keep the same bet as it is. No panic. Yet. Uh-oh, another loss. Now I'm at -4. This is what we call the grind. Finally, I get a win. That moves me up to -3. Since I won, I add 1 unit. The total bet goes up to €20. I win again. Now we're climbing up fast. I won 2 units, so now I'm back to -1. In theory, I should bet 30 here, but that would overshoot the target, so I keep the same bet and aim for +1. And won. As usual, climbing back up with Oscar's grind is quick if we are lucky. Cycle closed, back to €10. And I win on the first hand of the cycle. I'm at +1 right away. Nice. Cycle closed. Now, have you noticed something important? Of course, because we are always betting on the banker, when we win, we pay a 5% commission. This is small, but it kinda messes up the math behind Oscar's grind, which relies on a bet that pays 1-to-1. So when we win, we double our bet. Here, we don't exactly double it. If we win, we don't get exactly 20, we get 19.5. So, how do we deal with this? Well, as you can see from the play I'm doing, we just ignore that small loss and always play like if we were getting a 1-to-1 payout for simplicity of calculation. So you might think then Baccarat is worse for Oscar's grind compared to roulette, where it pays a clean 1-to-1, right? Well, wrong. You see, if you play Oscar's grind at roulette, betting on red or black or any other outside bet, your winning chances are a clean 48.64%. However, by betting on banker, your winning chances are 45.9%, plus in 9.5% of the cases, you push. So you still don't lose your bet. This basically means that while at roulette you will lose your bet 51.36% of the time, at Baccarat only 44.6%. So you gain an extra 6.76% chance of not losing your bet while paying a 5% fee on all your winnings. Therefore, in practice, you are slightly better off using Oscar's grind at Baccarat than at roulette. So why don't we bet on player? Because in that case the chances of winning would be lower, so it's not worth the extra 5% winnings for a lower chance of winning. Alright, I'm going to fast forward and check how this session finishes. And there it is. I made a total profit of €169.5 in a bit more than 10 minutes. Not too shabby, but of course, this is not one of these systems that pocket huge wins. It's called grind for a reason. Slower? Definitely. Safer? Also yes, but of course risks always exist. So, does Oscar's grind work on Baccarat? Yes, arguably better than in roulette. Of course, as usual, it isn't a magic system and it's not fast. The idea is simple. Play slowly, aim for small wins, and keep risk controlled. Compared to aggressive systems, it's calmer and easier to manage since you're only targeting one unit at a time. However, long recovery loops can happen. If losses continue, the system doesn't save you. It just keeps the progression going, which can make sessions longer and test your patience. And most importantly, eat your bankroll. This is the real risk. Always remember it. It doesn't guarantee profits. No system does. This is still gambling, so use a stop loss and only play with money you can afford to lose. So, what do you think about this system? Please feel free to drop a comment below. Before I wrap this up, here are 2 things to consider so you can improve your chances of winning. First, join our free community. It only takes 10 seconds. It's a place where you can discuss your strategies with other ninjas, get access to exclusive content, tools and bonuses that we don't share on YouTube. The link is in the description. Second, if you want to try this strategy by yourself, always do it at a trusted and verified casino. We've already done the research for you and put together a country by country list of licensed casinos. The link is in the description and pinned in the first comment too. Alright, thanks for watching and see you at the tables.